Once upon a time, in the misty hills of ancient Britain, King Arthur. A name that resonates through the ages. A king who pulled a sword from a stone. A man who ruled over a kingdom called Camelot. With his sword Excalibur, he fought for justice and honor. He gathered around him the bravest knights, heroes bound by the ideals of chivalry. A tale so powerful, it has lasted 1,000 years. But there's something else about Arthur's legend. Something that has puzzled historians and dreamers alike. Was he real? Or was he merely a figment of myth? Let's walk through the fog of history together, and see if we can uncover the truth behind this legendary king. The legend. It all begins with the stories. The earliest references to King Arthur come from old texts, written long after his supposed time. In the 9th century, a monk named Nennius spoke of a warrior who fought in 12 battles to protect Britain from invaders. This warrior was called Arthur. But that's all we get. No details of where he fought. No mention of the legendary sword. Just a name. A name that would grow into something far greater over time. Fast forward a few centuries, and the legend begins to take shape. In the 12th century, Geoffrey of Monmouth wrote a book titled The History of the Kings of Britain. This was no history book, though. It was part history, part myth, and part magic. Geoffrey described Arthur not just as a warrior, but as a king, a mighty ruler who led his people to greatness. He crafted the tale of Excalibur, the sword given to Arthur by the Lady of the Lake. A sword with powers beyond any mortal weapon. He told of Camelot, a place where knights gathered to uphold justice. And he even introduced the mysterious wizard Merlin, who guided Arthur with wisdom and magic. In Geoffrey's version of the tale, Arthur becomes a legendary king, a symbol of hope and strength. But the question lingers. Was Geoffrey's story based on truth? Or was it simply the wild imagination of a storyteller? To understand whether Arthur was real, we need to look at the evidence, or lack of it. The truth is, there's no solid proof that King Arthur ever walked the earth. No records. No inscriptions. No physical evidence to say, yes, this man ruled over Britain. Historians argue that Arthur may have been a composite of several different leaders. Some think he could have been based on a man like Ambrosius Aurelianus, a general who fought the Saxons in the 5th century. Others point to Riothamus, a king of the Britons who might have fought a similar battle in France around the same time. But none of these historical figures are Arthur. They're just men, lost to time, whose stories may have merged into the legend we know today. The fire crackles, and the wind rustles through the trees. Despite the absence of physical proof, the legend has survived. Why? Because the story of King Arthur is about more than just a man, it's about what he represents. Arthur is not just a king of Camelot. He is a king of ideals. A symbol of the dream for a better world. The power of the myth. Arthur's legend represents something universal. He stands for justice, a king who always tried to do what was right. He represents honor, the strength to protect his people. He is a symbol of chivalry, the noble code of conduct followed by his knights. And Camelot, his kingdom, is not just a place, it's an idea. A place where people are united, where everyone has a voice, and where equality reigns. In a world where many kings ruled with greed and cruelty, Arthur's Camelot was a shining light, a beacon of what could be. In his kingdom, the Round Table wasn't just a table, it was a symbol of equality, of unity. And then there's Excalibur, the sword that defined Arthur's destiny. Not just any weapon, Excalibur was a gift from the Lady of the Lake. It was a sword that couldn't be defeated, a sword that represented the divine right to rule. But the sword also symbolizes something deeper. It symbolizes fate, the idea that Arthur was chosen by something greater than himself. To lead a nation and bring about a golden age. So, was Arthur real? The answer isn't as clear as we might hope. The truth is, Arthur was likely a legend, a figure who lived in the imaginations of storytellers. But that doesn't make his story any less important. Arthur's legend isn't just about a man. It's about the dream he inspired, the dream of a just king, a noble kingdom, and a world of peace and equality. It's about the hope that one day, someone like Arthur might rise again, to lead us toward a better future. The once and future king. Arthur's story continues to live on in every retelling. From the ancient texts to modern novels, movies, and TV shows. Arthur's legend has evolved, but the core remains the same. We may never know if Arthur was a real person. But we don't need to. What matters is the legacy he leaves behind, the lessons we continue to learn from him. And maybe, just maybe, that's the true magic of the legend. Arthur isn't just the king of Camelot. He's the king of our dreams. As the fire dies down and the wind settles, the legend of King Arthur lives on in the hearts of those who believe in a better world. Thank you for tuning in. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I would love to hear what you think about the legend of King Arthur.